Okay, I am out in the barn again, in the back of the barn, not in the front of the barn. I'm going to be shooting backwards or out the front, if that doesn't make any sense, but if you watch enough of my videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've already given a first and second look to my Weihrauch HW 44 22 caliber PCP pistol, but as I've been kind of playing around with it, trying some different things, I wasn't excited about the sight picture of the 2x42 Truglo red dot sight. It's good for probably up to about 15 yards. So I'm just trying something kind of unique and different here. It's a little bit exotic and probably almost a little stupid, but hey, it's all in fun. So what I've tried to do here is I've had this old Aimpoint clone 3-power magnifier that I used to use on a number of other red dots in the past, and even though it's a clone, this is one of the ones that's first came out, and it's just really a nice 3-power. It's got really good glass. It's just probably one of the better ones, but I got the idea to put the magnifier behind the red dot, and even though it magnifies the red dot, it also magnifies object, your target. So I thought, well, I'd give that a shot and see how that works. And it's also a quick disconnect, so you can push a lever, pull it off. Plus I put on this knob so I can pull the whole thing off and then go right back to a standard red dot for a close-up shooting without having to have any tools. So I just thought I'd give it a try here at 25 yards and see what happens. I really don't have any idea what to expect, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. It should still be kind of fun to try. So maybe it'll blur the sight picture even more. I know that eye relief is pretty short when you're putting the magnifier on, because it was for magnifying like rifles with red dots. So, but hey, what do we got to lose, right? Let's just give it a try and see how it works or it doesn't work. And this is 25 yards measured off. I'm going to see, is there a way I can, kind of a little bit nervous about just locking the camera on there because I'm not quite sure what to expect. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, now let's go back and give it a shot. Well, it's not too bad for 25 yards for a pistol with looking through two different scopes, so they're it's like kind of wavy. So okay, dare I say that I should take this out to 50 yards? Should I do that? Let me try it. Going out another 25 yards measured. Okay, so that was a bit of a haul. That is 150 feet or 75 feet further than when I first started. Now I did try to make some minor adjustments to the scope because I didn't want this to become, I didn't want the angle to get exaggerated and then come over and hit this camera. So hopefully I can put some kind of group together. Wow, 50 yards? Why did I string these? I think I know why. I calmed my breathing down. I think I was still breathing heavy from that. I think I rushed that. These I took my time on. Wow, I can't believe it. And I pulled this one. The interesting thing about the red dot that I'm looking through, obviously the further I go back, the bigger the dot gets, of course, because 2.5 MOA is 2.5 inches at 100 yards, 1.25 inches at 50. There you go. When I'm looking through this, it seems to fill not just the, when I first did it at 25 yards, it seemed to be about the size of this, so it wasn't too bad just holding it on there, and maybe that gave me a little bit of trouble, but now it was literally the size of that first black circle, or the 10 ring, I guess. And yeah, really interesting. So I'm going to walk you back to how far the, oh, if I can get this camera out of here, I'm sure glad I didn't hit the camera. I see I must have over adjusted the scope, but that's okay, because so here's how far I'm going. 150 feet is a long stinking walk. Tell you, it sure looks little. That target sure looks little out of that dual, the red dot, and then the 3-power scope I was looking through, a 3-power magnifier. But I can tell you, I am out of shape. I am going to definitely have to get into shape if I'm going to do any long range shooting. So this is a measured 150 feet. All right, I am back. And what I did was I loaded the magazine here with 15.89 grain. It was right at 200 bar. And why I thought it would be appropriate to use those is because the other day that actually gave me the best group when I was doing the chrony testing. And I think these were zipping along pretty much at about 700 and in the 720s. And here is the kind of cool fun toy. So what I've got is my Truglo 2x42, and I noticed that obviously I got some decent groups at 10, 11 yards when I was chrony testing it. But I thought, wow, that's going to be difficult if I start reaching out to 25 and plus. And so as I was thinking about what to do without spending a whole bunch of more money and buying other stuff I don't have, I thought I would cobble something together. So I realized I had this old Aimpoint magnifier, 3-power magnifier. So I did some quick math and I thought, okay, if I'm magnifying a 2-power red dot with a 2.5 MOA, what I'll end up having is a 6-power with the same 2.5 MOA, but then that would be something like 7.5 MOA, but also it's pulling the object, your target, 3 times closer as well. So the target's bigger and the red dot is bigger. But it does show you when you are looking magnified just how big the red dot is, so compared to a very thin reticle or something from a pistol scope or a rifle scope. So what I've set up for is a couple of things here. Right now, what I can do, I'm trying to get it so you guys can see. I'll set it down gently. Is I put a spinner nut on there, okay, so you can do that. But if you knew you wanted to use it, but you wanted the versatility of on and off easier, you just have to move it to the very last. Picatinny slot, and now it still works. And then there's a lever I can push here. I got the wrong hand for the camera, and you turn it and off it comes. Now of course you still got that bulbous thing like you would if you were on a rifle, but it's still. So there's a couple different methods. You can take the whole thing off with the locking nut. You can just quick disconnect it, whichever. But then, like I say, and that weighs, I gotta believe this is weighing not quite a pound. I'd have to weigh it, but probably just a little bit under a pound. Anyway, and then now I just have my red dot moved a little bit forward from what it was when I tested for accuracy in chronograph. But that is how that worked. And as you can see, even cobbled together with a red dot, and I got a pretty good result out of that. I don't know what that's going to look like. It probably looks crazy to you guys, but really good glass for a clone. That was back in the days when they really made nice clones. But here was my 25-yard attempt, and it's interesting because it's actually less tight, and I know why that is. I believe I have a theory on this. I was kind of losing the red dot, even though it was smaller at 25 yards. What would that be? 625. Okay, so 5/8 which is about what this is, 5/8. So literally I was kind of losing it in there, and I kind of had it turned down a little bit too much. I should have cranked it up to like 8 or 9, but I think I had it at 4 or 5. And to be honest with you, I was kind of first setting up, taking down, had to be aware of what was behind my target and so on, and I had to keep stopping, turn the camera on, turn the camera off, and I ended up, I was pretty winded, and I think I kind of rushed these shots. I think I could have, obviously I believe I could have done a lot better. So that is 100% on me. But again, it's still not bad for a 25-yard pistol with the red dot scope and a 3x magnified, or 6. So then I moved it out to 50 yards, 150 feet. But as I was telling you, now the dot was 1.25 inches on my eyes, and it was filling up this whole 10-ring circle, which surprisingly was almost easier to keep on. I don't know why. It just was easier. It was almost like it was more like you could see the center of everything than when it was tiny on that orange. So, and I had made an adjustment. I believe I went 4 clicks to the right, so I'm just going to back it off probably just like 1 click. And I didn't go up or down or nothing like that, so that's just a natural drop. Oh, where are we with our bar? Still at 150 bar. So 10 rounds, got rid of 50 bar, and so I'm still could get a good solid 5 more shots. Because I used 2, I loaded the magazine, used 2 rounds just to make sure everything was centered, because I had moved the scope. And then I moved out to 25 and did this, and then I moved to 50 and did that, so go figure. But I calmed my breathing down, like I said. I realized I was really huffing and puffing, and it was easier with the bigger dot on this than it was with the smaller dot at 25 on the red. So did not try this ahead of time. This was as you saw it, as I saw it. It was just a whim I wanted to give a try to, so that if I do carry it in that case I've got up there, this fits in one of the magazine pockets. So we're all done. Just put it in there like that, or I probably could even put it right here, but I'd prefer to kind of keep it out of the. This fits right here. Fits right in there. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that reuses the tape until you can't. That's just one of my things. I just do it. And this one is the wider tin, but it can hold several tins, and there you are. So then you're all set, ready to rock and roll to your next whatever the heck you're doing. So, all right, hope you enjoyed the video on my cobbled together red dot shooting at 25 yards and 50 yards, and I am really excited about that kind of accuracy. I imagine a lot of you guys are too. I am not the most precision shot, obviously, but this with a gun like this, it can make anybody, I mean, you can just, it really shoots nice. I'm shocked. That's a pistol. So there you go. I thank you very much for watching, and take care.